let's talk about the Pretty Little Liars Summer School Season 2 finale.
Certain rules. Push the laws and you end up dead.
This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life.
Not in my movie.
Surprise, Sydney.
He's gone mad.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
A very simple formula.
You want to play psycho killer?
Everybody's a suspect.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I think it's gonna go something like this.
So today we're doing a little recap and a review of the Season 2 finale of Pretty Little Liars Summer School. If you have not seen it, this is not the video for you. It goes without saying, there will be spoilers in this video. So I was really looking forward to this episode. They really hyped it up, and I will say it was pretty good. I did enjoy it. We finally find out who the killer is, or should I say the killers. And we also got our first big death of the whole season. So I guess I'll just start off with the reveal. Bloody Rose ended up being Mrs. Langsbury with the help of Wes. And I will say this was very much giving Mrs. Loomis and Mickey Altieri from Scream 2. Speaking of Scream, there were quite a few Scream references in this episode, which I absolutely loved. As you can tell, Scream is my favorite franchise. The first Scream reference we got was Tabby said something like, "I've seen enough Neve Campbell movies to know better." And then also in Christian's room, he had a Scream poster. And then at the end of the episode, Tabby said to Imogen, "I thought we were gonna have a Billy Stu situation on our hands," which I absolutely loved because I actually did suspect Christian and Johnny for a while. Christian I was suspicious of since the moment he set foot on the scene, but I did feel like he was a little bit too obvious. Johnny, on the other hand, I really did think Johnny was going to be guilty of something, helping Bloody Rose. Turns out he was innocent. And then at one point, I actually thought maybe it was Imogen. When she finds the bodies in the freezer and then she hits Johnny and drags him into the freezer, I thought, oh my God, what if it's her? And I tried to remember past episodes to see if it could actually make sense and work. Like, maybe she's crazy and she hallucinates things and she's actually the killer. I tried to remember where she was when Bloody Rose attacked, if it could work out. Maybe she was the killer all along, and maybe she put those bodies in the freezer where she works at the ice cream shop. Obviously that didn't end up being the case, but I do think that would have been a good twist. I also low-key was hoping it was Dr. Sullivan. I mean, they made her seem suspicious the entire season, so that's why I mostly didn't think that they would actually do it. But I think I kind of would have liked it if it ended up being Dr. Sullivan. But I will say that with Mrs. Langsbury and Wes, I honestly did not suspect them at all. So I did really like the reveal. It's always good when you don't guess the killers. Obviously, I did kind of suspect them at one point, but I felt like it would be a little too obvious, so I pretty much ruled them out. I guess sometimes that can actually end up being a good surprise. When someone's a little too suspicious, so you think it's not going to be them, and then it ends up actually being them. Kind of like Billy in the first Scream movie. He's suspicious throughout that whole movie, but then you're still kind of shocked when it's him at the end. Like I said, Mrs. Langsbury and Wes was really giving Mrs. Loomis and Mickey Altieri from Scream 2 to me, which I thought was a lot of fun. I do like that with Wes, it was someone that they've known since season 1. Even though I did think it was a good reveal and I was surprised, I do kind of wish it was someone a little closer to them to make it a bigger betrayal, like Kelly Beasley or the boyfriends, Christian and Johnny. But like I said, I didn't suspect these two, so for me it was a surprise. But what about you? Did you guess that it was these two? Leave a comment down below and let me know. I was kind of sad that Ash wasn't in the episode because I like him, and they also could have made us think it was him at first. You know how the girls say he's beyond suspicion? They should have did something right before the reveal to make us think it was him, just as another little red herring to throw us off. I'm sad that he wasn't there to help the girls. Also, I wasn't vibing with Jen the whole season, but I did like the part in the finale when Noah called her and was like, I'm gonna need you to tell me how to hotwire a car, and she said it would be an honor. That part actually made me laugh. And in that moment, I actually liked Jen. Something that is so random, when they were running into the movie theater, the two movies that were listed up top, I Know What You Did Last Summer and The Final Girls, coincidentally, those are the two movies that I watched in the past 2 nights. What are the odds of that? Last night I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the night before I watched The Final Girls. That was just really bizarre to me. Like, what are the odds? Now, is Wes still alive? Because at the end, when the girls are having their session with Dr. Sullivan says Mrs. Langsbury and Wes were arrested. But I mean, I thought Tabby killed him. She drove that pitchfork straight through him, and he was kind of just hanging there when Imogen approached him. So I don't know, did he survive that? Because Dr. Sullivan literally said Mrs. Langsbury and Wes were arrested. So I don't know about that. And then we gotta talk about Dr. Sullivan's death. I thought that was a great ending. They did promise that someone who's been in Millwood since season 1 would die this episode. I kind of thought maybe it'll be Kelly, but ended up being Dr. Sullivan. I didn't like at the end there how when she was on the phone with like her book publisher or whoever, she said, "Trust me, these girls are narcissists." That was a little rude and kind of like violating their privacy. You know, a therapist isn't supposed to reveal anything about their patients, so I don't know, I thought that was a little rude. But then, you know, Archie Waters ended up killing her, which I thought was a great ending. I also liked how she was begging Archie to tell her, "Did you kill my son?" And we'll never know. I was kind of hoping Archie would respond to her and say yes, but I guess Archie doesn't talk. But yeah, that's about it. That's my little recap and review for the season 2 finale. I thought it was good, and I'm very eager to see what they do for season 3. I'm not sure if they've been officially renewed yet. I'm sure they will. I feel like the show is so popular. I see everyone online talking about it. I had to make sure that I watched this episode as soon as possible because I didn't want to see any spoilers online. So hopefully you liked this episode also. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Were you happy with the ending? Did you suspect the 2 killers? That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time.